Today, we're going to talk about something you probably use every single day without even thinking about it, and that's trust. Specifically, how the third generation of mobile networks, 3G, built this incredibly secure foundation that we all totally rely on. So think about this for a second. When you make a call or just browse the web, your phone is constantly talking to a nearby cell tower. But how does it know that tower is the real deal? How do you know it's not some fake tower set up by a scammer just waiting to snatch your information? Well, for a long time, the honest answer was you couldn't really be sure. And that was a massive security problem. The solution came with a new standard called UMTS, and believe me, it completely changed the game. So let's dive in and see how this huge leap in security actually happened. To really appreciate the genius behind 3G security, we've got to first understand just how shaky the old networks really were. This wasn't just some small update. It was a total rethink of mobile security, right from the ground up. Okay, so the system that came before, 2G or GSM, man, it had some serious holes. The biggest one? One-way authentication. See, the network could ask your phone, hey, are you who you say you are? But your phone had no way to ask the network the same question back. This left a huge door wide open for fake base stations. On top of that, it used pretty weak encryption that was eventually cracked. And get this, there was no way to even know if a message had been messed with while it was in transit. So how did UMTS fix all this? Well, it built a brand new security architecture on three main pillars. And these didn't just patch the old holes. They created a completely new, much stronger foundation. Let's take a look at the first one. The first and honestly the most important pillar was mutual authentication. This was the absolute game changer. For the very first time, that security check went both ways. The network verifies your phone's USAM card, and this is the key part, your phone verifies the network. It's kind of like a secret handshake where both people have to know all the moves. This quote really just gets right to the heart of it. It's all about creating this closed loop of trust. You know the network is real, and the network knows you're a real subscriber. This one feature basically slammed the door shut on those fake base station attacks. All right, the next pillar is all about protecting your privacy. UMTS introduced this really clever trick to hide your phone's permanent ID. Instead of just broadcasting who you are, the network gives your phone a temporary ID, a TMSI. You can think of it like a nickname. This makes it incredibly hard for anyone eavesdropping to track your location or figure out who you're calling, because your real name is never out there in the open. And finally, the third pillar was just a massive upgrade to the raw defensive power. UMTS brought in way stronger encryption, like this thing called Kasumi, with longer keys that are so much harder to crack. It also introduced data integrity checks, which make sure that the messages you send are the exact ones that get received, with zero tampering. The bottom line is, this was a direct and powerful answer to every single major weakness we saw in 2G. So we have these three powerful pillars, right? Mutual authentication, confidentiality, and upgraded defenses. But how do they all actually work together when your phone tries to connect to a tower? Let's walk through that digital handshake, step by step. First off, let's just get a map of the territory. The whole system has three main parts. You've got your phone, which is called the user equipment. It connects to the UTRAN, which is basically the network of radio towers. And the UTRAN connects to the core network, which does all the heavy lifting in the background. This is the stage where our digital handshake is going to happen. Okay, here's how that handshake kicks off. When your phone wants to connect, it introduces itself to the local tower using that temporary nickname we talked about. The local network then basically calls home to your main service provider and asks for a security challenge. Your home network then sends back two really important things: a totally random number, or RAND, and a special authentication token called an AUTN. And this right here is where the magic happens. Your phone's USM card takes a close look at that authentication token from the network. This is your phone checking if the network is legit. If it all checks out, the USM uses that random number to cook up a secret response and generate brand new encryption keys. It sends that response back to the network. If it's the answer the network was expecting, boom, the handshake is complete, you're in, and the connection is totally secure. So when you put it all together, the jump from 2G to 3G wasn't just a small step forward. It was a total revolution in mobile security. Let's just look at the final verdict, side by side. I mean, the difference is just night and day. Where 2G was a one-way street, 3G became a two-way verified conversation. Where 2G was wide open to imposters, 3G was specifically designed to shut them down. Every single major flaw in the old system was met with a direct, powerful, and pretty elegant solution in the new one.
And here's the real takeaway. That digital handshake, that mutual trust, that privacy protection, these aren't just old features from 3G. They became the fundamental building blocks for security in 4G, 5G, and whatever comes next. It created a baseline of trust that makes our entire connected world even possible.
Which kind of brings us to a final thought. The engineers behind 3G, they solved the trust problem of their time. But as our lives get more and more connected and the threats get way more sophisticated, it really makes you wonder, what's the next great security leap we need to invent to keep ourselves safe?